answer this question using algebra to solve for x. Or we can solve in an easier fashion. And we'll use the answer choices to find out which one of these choices makes this value less than or equal to this value. Now, when we read this question, it says, what is the largest integer? And we'll have to keep that in mind. So I'm going to use the easy method. I'm going to use the answers. So I'm going to start by figuring out what is this as a decimal. 21 divided by 36 is approximately 0.58. So one by one, I'm going to plug these in to find out when I substitute 12 in for x, is this value less than or equal to this value? 12 divided by 24, which is in the denominator, is 0.5. 0.5 is less than or equal to 0.58, so this could be a choice. Let's try 13. 13 divided by 24 is 0.54. 0.54 again is less than 0.58. This could be an answer. 14 divided by 24 is exactly 0.58. And we can see that if we go on to 15 or 16, the last two answer choices, when I plug them in, this value is greater than the right-hand side, as is 16. When you substitute 16 in for x, this value is greater. So I know it can't be D or E. So choices A, B, and C work. But when we read the question, it says which of these is the largest integer. And I know that 14 is the largest integer of the three. Please flip to the back. Read the question carefully. You'll have 1 minute to answer. Begin. And stop. Okay, again, we could solve using algebra, but we want to find the easiest and the quickest way to solve this, and I believe using the answer choices is the easiest. Now, in this problem, it says what is the smallest integer that makes this true? So let's start by figuring out what is 7 divided by 16. So I'm going to convert it to a decimal. It's approximately 0.43. And it says this value has to be less than whatever this is. This has to be less. So I'm going to start with 10. I substitute 10 in for the x value, and I get an answer of 0.416. So is this value less than the right-hand side? No, this is actually greater. It cannot be A. Substituting 11 in, I have 0.458. 0.458. Is this value smaller than the right-hand side? This value is actually smaller than the right-hand side. 0.43 is smaller than 0.45. That could be a choice. We'll go on to check 12, and we'll see if we see a pattern here. When I substituting 12 in, I end up with 0.5. Again, 0.43 is smaller than 0.5, and you're going to see a pattern here. So if 11 is smaller and 12 is smaller, we can assume that 13 is smaller. As you can see, 13 is smaller, and so is 14. So all of these choices work, but when you read the question, it says which one of these is the smallest integers to make this true. Correct answer is B.